Whoosh. Birth of the Dragon, trailer reaction, review, and my thoughts. Okay, so they made a new Bruce Lee movie, right? Biopic. Um, it was released in September in Canada at the Toronto International Film Festival. So it's already out, but in Canada, right? I just saw the trailer, and I'm gonna give my honest opinion on what I feel about the trailer after watching it, right? No, this is just my opinion now, because on YouTube you have to be careful how you talk about certain things, right? Um, I'm someone that's been watching Bruce Lee movies from I was young, collected all his books, right? Fighting methods, Dao Jeet Chinese Kung Fu. I even studied a little bit of Jeet Kune Do myself, the way of the intercepting fist or foot, right? I also have a major in film and video productions, bachelor's in arts, right? So basically, I know a lot about production, directing, editing, script writing, so forth, lighting, and all these things, right? I have experienced it, I've studied it. So, from my experience and my opinion and what I think about the trailer, is that I'm not impressed with it at all. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you're doing a biopic on Bruce Lee, the character that's playing Bruce Lee should look like Bruce Lee. That's the most important thing, first off. The looks has to look like the person you are doing the biography on, right? Just like Ray Charles, they use Jamie Foxx, Muhammad Ali, they use Will Smith. Both of those characters look like, the Ray Charles and the Muhammad Ali, right? There have been already a biopic on Bruce Lee, the movie called The Dragon, Bruce Lee story, which was played by Jason Scott Lee, who did an excellent job. That was a good documentary, biopic on Bruce Lee. Jason Scott Lee did an excellent job on that. His looks, down to his body, the acting, even though he wasn't from a martial art background, but he had gymnastics, right? He was already athletic. So to learn the techniques, wasn't hard for him. And he actually trained with one of Bruce Lee's students, right? So he picked up the techniques quickly, right? Even down to his mannerism, everything was on point. Now, as I mentioned, you can't judge a book by the cover, by the birth of a dragon, just a trailer. Maybe the movie, could be good, but just from seeing the trailer myself and the person that's playing Bruce Lee, who is, I believe, Philip Eng, he has martial art background, right? Philip Eng has several Hong Kong movies, which I believe one of them he started with Jackie Chan, one of the police story movies, right? So he has an acting background. But what is lacking is the feeling, right? Because when the audience is going to watch a biopic about Bruce Lee, the audience has to believe that they're actually watching Bruce Lee. This picture here of imitation of Bruce Lee is actually Bruce L.E., right? Did a great job imitating the actual Bruce Lee. Looks a little bit like him and had the martial art background and the mannerisms, right? And you can feel and relate to him when you're watching a movie that, kind of remind you of Bruce Lee. And sometimes you can get lost in the story and the movie thinking that you're watching a real Bruce Lee, right? So those are the things that I'm trying to explain, right? You have to find the character that looks like the person that you're trying to imitate, so the audience can have a relationship with the character. So those are the things that I'm talking about. This other guy here is Bruce Lee, but with a L-I. So they had Bruce Lee L-E and Bruce Lee L-I. And he actually looked a little bit like Bruce Lee too, and actually acted like him in the mannerisms and everything, and could actually do the action, had the martial art background. So this is what I'm saying. If you're going to do a biopic on somebody that passed away, you want to try to have it as perfect as possible, if not 100%. And like I said, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, in my opinion, that's the best biopic on Bruce Lee. There were some parts of the movie, that wasn't, true, but majority of the movie was telling his life story, right? As you see here, a scene from Dragon the Bruce Lee story, even down to Bruce Lee's wife, Linda Lee, who was played by Lauren Holly. There was a close resemblance, to what Linda Lee looks like. And again, Jason Scott Lee, splitting resemblance to Bruce Lee, right? When I saw Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, right, Jason Scott Lee did such a superb job that I found myself believing that I was actually watching the real Bruce Lee, like from Enter the Dragon, like from Fist of Fury, the big boss, the Way of the Dragon, the Return of the Dragon, right? Game of Death. I found myself believing that, damn, is this the real Bruce Lee I'm watching, or it's somebody just imitating him, right? That is what you want when you're doing a biopic. Even from a trailer, you want to have the audience get sucked into it and believe that that's the actual real Bruce Lee, because that's how you're going to sell it, because you're doing a biopic on somebody that passed away, right? Like Ray Charles, Muhammad Ali, you're doing a biopic on that person. So you want to have the audience believe that it's actually the rebirth, the real Bruce Lee is back. But man, again, nowadays, man, when they make movies, they rush them. They don't spend time on the storyline. There's no passion and feeling when creating the movie, right? It's just rushed. And I could tell that Rebirth of the Dragon, just from the trailer, it just seems rushed. Just seems like put together real quick and just find this guy who can do some martial arts and have him kind of look like Bruce Lee and just play the part, right? So, I mean, you can find somebody that looks like Bruce Lee, like this guy here, right? This guy's from Afghanistan, actually, but he resembles Bruce Lee, and he has the fighting skills similar to Bruce Lee, but the main part that he looks like him. The only thing that, I don't know if he speaks English, but, you can work on him, right? With somebody like this, you can have the audience at least get drawn into it by the features. He resembles Bruce Lee a lot, If I was directing a bio about Bruce Lee or on Bruce Lee, I would get this guy from Afghanistan, right? I would work on his acting, have him watch Bruce Lee movies every day, which he's probably already doing, right? Then I would get back Linda Lee and Shannon Lee and try to make the story as close to Bruce Lee's real life. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, did that. But if I'm going to make a next bio, it has to be better than Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, because nothing's going to top Dragon, the Bruce Lee story at this moment. And there's probably been other Bruce Lee movies out there, like bios, but I never watched them, right? I just watched Dragon, right? So it has to be better than Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. So I would actually get this guy here from Afghanistan. I would take him, work on him, get Linda Lee, Shannon Lee, or other people that's real close to Bruce Lee, and work on the story and keep it authentic to the real life Bruce Lee, right? Even to his fighting, his philosophies, I would keep it exactly, because that's how I'm going to sell to the audience now. I'm going to do it exactly like the real Bruce Lee, like if Bruce Lee was alive, right? So that's how I will top Dragon the Bruce Lee story, because it has to be better than Dragon the Bruce Lee story. You know what I'm saying? Because Dragon the Bruce Lee story is the best bio right now. So I would take the Afghanistan Bruce Lee, work on him, work on his acting as far as his mannerisms, which he has already, but more the talking and stuff like that. And then get Linda Lee and other people that actually knew Bruce Lee, get up all his books, all the research I need, and make it exactly like his life was when he was born, all the way to the 60s, 50s to the 70s, right? And that's how I would make this movie. The fighting scenes, there wouldn't be no cables, no wires, nothing like that. I would keep it authentic to the way how Bruce Lee would train back in the days and the way how he would spar, right? Or from his movies, I would keep it just like that. There wouldn't be any wires throwing him down from the sky, he's floating on air, that's like, it's fantasy. It's making it look comical, like from Birth of the Dragon. When I saw that, it looks cartoonish, And as I said, that's just my opinion, and I'm not trying to beat down the actor that's playing Bruce Lee, Philip Yang. I'm not trying to put him down. I mean, he's a good martial artist. I've seen like him perform in one of his movies and some expedition that he has, right? He's a good martial artist, but it just, when you're making a bio on, a legend like Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, you want to have it as close as possible to the person, like mannerism and looks. Now, from the Birth of the Dragon, right? The way how Philip Yang is acting, he's acting more like Jason Scott Lee. He sounds like Jason Scott Lee. You see what I'm saying? Because to imitate Bruce Lee, it's hard. It's not easy to imitate Bruce Lee because there's only one Bruce Lee. It's like Michael Jackson. There's only one Michael Jackson. So even though you're trying to perform and dance like him, you can still tell that it's not the real Michael Jackson. Or if you're trying to sing like him, you can tell that it's not Michael Jackson because there's only one Michael Jackson, right? Those are his moves. That's his voice. Those are his mannerisms. You're just actually trying to imitate it. So when I saw Birth of the Dragon, I'm like thinking, hold on, is this guy trying to, act like Jason Scott Lee, in the form of mannerisms? Because he sounds like Jason Scott Lee. Because the person who I relate to as imitating Bruce Lee in a biopic is Jason Scott Lee, because of the great job that he has done. I can relate to him, right? I mean, that's just it, man. I mean, I'm just being honest. And again, maybe I could be wrong. I'm gonna watch the movie anyway. I mean, just to see, but just from the trailer, man, it just looks cartoonish, flying from the air, overacting, like he's imitating Bruce Lee, but it sounds like he's going more towards Jason Scott Lee, and over cockiness. Bruce Lee was a cocky dude. The real Bruce Lee was a cocky dude, but I think in this movie is like over cocky. And also, in the beginning of the trailer, they don't show Bruce Lee. They show the narrator, who is Bruce Lee's student. So the movie seems like it's going to be more of a narration of Bruce Lee's student explaining Bruce's life as the movie goes on. I mean, that's what I'm getting from the trailer now. So they're going to be like flashback to his student, and then the student's going to be talking about Bruce Lee, and then you're going to see Bruce Lee, and then back and forward. That's what I'm getting from the trailer. There's actually criticism about that part, about having a narrator, and the narrator is so-called a Caucasian guy, right? So it's like a race thing, because Bruce Lee is, Chinese, American, so forth, and you're having a white guy, so forth, gonna be kind of highlighting the movie, and then Bruce is like just in the background, right? Again, back to a race thing. Just like religion, black, white, Chinese, pink, whatever color you are, it's just one of those things where it's just a division, trying to separate people from each other, separate cultures, separate religion, separate martial arts, right? That's why Jeet Kune Do sample everything, right? A little bit of boxing, karate's in it, kung fu, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You take what's useful and you make it your own, right? So all this race war and religion, all these things, is just to separate people from each other, man. We all need to come together and be one. Like one of Bruce Lee quotes, he said, the guy asked him, do you consider yourself, Chinese or American or so forth? And he said, I consider myself a human being, And then he said, under the sky, under the heaven, there's only one family. But it so happened that people are different. So we need to stop this race war, black against white, all this foolishness. I need to come together. Because all that's doing is separating us away from each other. We need to come together and be one. Right? If we never knew about any color of skin, we never was taught that, we wouldn't have any problem in the world. Everybody would just be together and be fine with everything, right? But they create these different colors and Black Lives Matters. Man, every single life matter. Every life matter, man. As long as you have a heartbeat, animals' life matter. The insects' life matter. Everybody's life matter. Right? It's not about just you being this color and that color. That's just separation, man. Right? So that whitewashing, whatever, so forth, about the narrator being so and so, I'm not looking at that. Right? We already have enough problems already in this society as it is. Right? Mother Earth is good. It's just the people that are running it. Right? The people who are trying to control other people. That's the problem. Right? I'm not blind. Obviously, there is racism because that's what we were all brought up to believe, right? We were taught that there's like this color, that color, and so forth. So, of course, there's racism, but I'm not trying to live my life like that, right? So, as far as this Bruce Lee movie is concerned, The Birth of a Dragon, to me, I'm not feeling it. But by watching the trailer, it more looks like a fictional kind of a story they're doing, right? Even with the fighting, it's more fit to what's going on now in the movies with the wire work and all these things. So it looks like it's more towards, a younger audience, the kids for today, and they're not keeping it real to the story. And that's just what it is. Again, maybe I could be wrong. But just from the trailer is what usually sells the movie to the audience, make you want to go watch it. Just from what I've seen from the trailer, I'm just not impressed, and it just seemed, mediocre. But they say never judge a book by the cover, or never judge a movie by the trailer. I don't know how much that's true, but, when it comes out, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna give a review on it. My thoughts on the actual movie when I watch it. But from the trailer, I'm just not impressed.